So, Morocco are a football crazy country that is home to a rich footballing history and some of the biggest football clubs in Africa. They're also the first African country to qualify for a FIFA World Cup, and they've always been a major force in African football. But in 2015, they hit rock bottom. They were ranked 90th in the FIFA Men's World Rankings and missed out on back-to-back World Cup qualifications by missing out on the 2010 and 2014 editions. And you know they were in the absolute trenches when they got knocked out of the group stages of the 2012 and 2013 AFCONs. And on top of that, their best player was Marouane Chamakh. But this is when the Royal Football Federation of Morocco realized that a drastic change was needed. And this is where things start to get interesting. So listen up. Now, before we go any further, we must note that a lot of football fans are of the opinion that the current Morocco national team is only good because of their European diaspora. Or in other words, all their players who grew up in Europe. But more on that later. But first, let's actually debunk that myth. Basically, there's two different spheres when it comes to football development in Morocco. First, we'll start from a local development perspective. So Morocco has always had a strong domestic league called the Batola Pro that is home to some of the biggest clubs in Africa, some of them including Wydad Casablanca and Raja CA. But let's go back to a decade ago when Morocco realized that they needed to completely overhaul its football infrastructure. So as far back as 2010, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation started a campaign where they would heavily invest in the football infrastructure within the country. This was aimed at both improving the coaches and the players and ultimately improving the pathways for youngsters to go to professional football. Now, with the help of government and private sector funding, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation was able to improve all of its top academies throughout the country. But a particularly interesting example is that of the King Mohammed Football Academy in Rabat, which is an academy and national technical center for the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, which cost Morocco about $17 million. Now, the King Mohammed Football Academy is a football academy that is absolutely state of the art and also doubles up as a training facility for the Moroccan national team whenever they are in Rabat. And the return on investment from the King Mohammed Academy has been absolutely immense. It has produced some of the best players who play in the Moroccan Batola Pro League, and it has produced some of the key players who were part of the Moroccan squad that made it to the 2022 World Cup semi-finals and the 2025 AFCON final. This includes players like Youssef En-Nesyri, Naïef Ogod, and Azzedine Ounahi, to name but a few. And on top of that, the Moroccan national football team achieved all of this with local coach Walid Regragui, who came through the Moroccan local football scene and won titles with the likes of FUS and Wydad Casablanca. Now, what's interesting is that the return on investment from this specific academy can be seen throughout the whole Moroccan football landscape. For example, out of the squad that made it to the 2025 AFCON final and that won the 2025 World Cup, 4 of those players were graduates from the King Mohammed Football Academy. And listen, that's just one example from one academy. There are plenty of other top academies throughout Morocco that have produced top players that compete at the highest level in Europe and in the Middle East. Players such as Bono and Ayoub El Kabi, to name but a few. Moving on to the second sphere of football development in Morocco. Now, it's no secret that due to colonization, immigration, migration, and just proximity to Europe, that there is a massive Moroccan diaspora in Europe. And over the years, the diaspora has produced some absolute world-class players who've made it through the European Football Academy system and have played for top European countries, such as the likes of Mathieu Guendouzi, Marouane Fellaini, Nasser Chadli, World Cup winner Adil Rami, and recently Yamin Lamal. Now, it's quite common practice that for a lot of African teams, such as the likes of Nigeria, Senegal, and Morocco, and even non-African countries such as the likes of Colombia and the United States of America, to recruit players from top European football nations who can qualify to represent their specific countries. But the problem with this is that teams like Morocco would usually get, for lack of a better word, the leftovers. And by leftovers, I just basically mean players who are about 28 years or older and realize that they don't have any chance of representing their European nation. But due to having Moroccan ethnicity, these players then decide to represent Morocco, but only because they don't have any other options. Other countries, and especially Morocco, realized instead of making this Eurocentric system work against them, they are gonna instead try to make the system work for them. So basically, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation changed their recruitment strategy, and in 2019, they appointed former Como manager and Crystal Palace assistant manager Ozian Roberts as their technical director. So he basically helped streamline and improve the youth structures within the country and improve the youth recruitment of players to the national team and the youth national teams. And under his watch, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation then hired scouts and deployed them into major European footballing countries. And basically, these scouts were used to entice young Moroccan football talent and get them to join the youth structures of the Moroccan national team, and basically to try and get them to commit to the Moroccan football national team from as young as possible. And this actually improved the intake of their players tremendously, because now they were willing to recruit players who were willing to give the best years of their careers to the Moroccan national team. Some of these players includes the likes of Sofiane Amrabat, Ismail Saibari, Ben Siger, Ayoub Bouadi, Ziyech, Brahim Diaz, and Ashraf Hakimi, and many more, but I just didn't have the time to mention all of them. Now, on a side note, I'm not trying to get into an argument on whether a player is Senegalese, Moroccan, or Nigerian enough to represent the national team. Because personally, I feel like that argument is just redundant and stupid. Because clearly FIFA has a criteria for representing a national team, which is quite strict. Either you live in that country for a number of years and become a naturalized citizen, or you have a parent or grandparent from that country, or you are born in that country. Furthermore, dual citizenship or dual nationality is quite a normal thing in modern society, and many of your favorite footballers and sportsmen in general are capable of representing more than one country. I digress. Now, the Moroccan football team as we know them today has gone from strength to strength, from being ranked 90th in the world to making a under-20 AFCON final, winning the under-20 World Cup, winning the under-17 AFCON, and winning a bronze at the Men's Olympic Games. And then, of course, the very contentious one, winning the 2025 AFCON final, which brings me to my next point. Now, the one grey cloud that still hangs over the national Moroccan football team and the Royal Moroccan Football Federation is that they live by a motto that would make Eddie Guerrero or Luis Suarez extremely proud. This is basically win by any means necessary. To be honest, I'm not even referring to the AFCON, because if you know African football, you'll understand that many opposition coaches from many clubs and other countries have regularly complained about the conduct of Moroccan football clubs and the Moroccan national team. It includes their crowds, their ball boys. And then you get the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, who always try to overturn results via the courts and have a bad habit of cancelling tournaments that they are due to host on the last minute due to political reasons. Basically, these guys are guilty as charged when it comes to bad sportsmanship. But I guess we're not here to talk about ethics in the world of football, or the lack thereof for that matter. Anyways, I digress. So what's very interesting to note is that head coach Walid Regragui resigned straight after the 2025 AFCON final, which then led the Moroccan Football Federation to hire the Under-20 World Cup winning coach Mohamed Ouahabi. And the crazy thing is that firing a coach during a World Cup year never stopped the progression of the national team, because they're currently ranked 7th in the world rankings and they find themselves in the quarterfinals of the World Cup after going toe-to-toe with Brazil and drawing with them in the group stages, and then beating the Netherlands in the round of 32 on penalties, and then smacking host nations Canada 3-0 in the round of 16. Now, they'll face France in the quarterfinals, but as things stands, they are already the first African team to go back-to-back for quarterfinals in a World Cup. And if they somehow beat France, they will be the first African team to go back-to-back for semi-finals in a World Cup. Now, this actually just shows how good the continuity within the federation is. This includes the management of the national football team, because the team has been superb even when they change coaches during a World Cup year. The current Moroccan team is absolutely stacked with talent, and some are saying that this is the best Arab and African team to ever play in a World Cup. But feel free to enter the comment section and let us know. Is Morocco currently a football superpower? Yes, no, not yet, maybe? Thank you for watching another episode of TAMFC, where we break down football developments holistically and ultimately inform the opinions of football fans while making it easy for viewers to digest.